It is an absolutely beautiful morning here in Missoula, Montana. It is Sunday. I figured we'd teach a nice little Bible lesson about a man named Judas. Because yesterday I made a video likening Charlie Kirk to Judas. Some people were calling him the Messiah, comparing him to Jesus, but Charlie Kirk is more like Judas. He's convincing Jesus that he's on his side and only to stab him in the fucking back later. Charlie Kirk was a Judas. And in this lesson, Jesus had a bunch of disciples. One of them was Judas, And a lot of you're like Jesus's other disciples. They all had different personalities and character traits, but a lot of Americans today, you are Judas from the Bible. You're the person who gained some person's trust first so that you could stab them in the back later for your own fucking gain. If this was a Jeopardy answer, it would be, what is American corporations? They are fucking Judas. It's like, what is American politicians? They are fucking Judas. What are American journalists? Many of them, like Fox News anchors, these are Judas. They gain your trust so that they can stab you in the back for their own personal gain, just like politicians get there on the fucking podium and they fucking bullshit. They gain your fucking trust and then they fucking stab you in the back. They sell your fucking shit to the corporations and then they get a little personal gain out of it. These CEOs, they do the same thing. They go on these podiums and they're like, we're doing this for your own good. This is gonna be such a wonderful thing for your fucking community. Just trust us, please. A whole angry crowd of people shouting them down, and all they have to say for that is, I'm so sorry you feel that way, but you're just gonna have to go along with what we're doing. I'm sorry you feel that way, but if you keep confronting me, I'm gonna have security take you out of the room. Instead of a public event that everybody can go to, a lot of these events, they're private. There's a list of people, and if you're not on that list, you're not getting in that room. And if you don't think that politicians or CEOs are like Judas, just remember that a lot of politicians, they have a shit ton of money. A lot of CEOs, they have a shit ton of money. And when you have a shit ton of money, you don't want to be around common folk. You see, they have private country clubs where they can go to. Many CEOs and politicians are playing golf today. It's Sunday. Day 41 of the government shutdown. How many of those politicians you think are having a nice day of golf today? They're gonna eat a nice fucking meal. They're gonna just relax, baby. That's Judas fucking behavior. The people out there who are providing food for the millions of starving Americans, those are the real people who are embodying the spirit of Jesus Christ. They're feeding people and they have no ulterior motives. They're not trying to gain your trust. They're not trying to take your money. They're just trying to make sure that you go away from them fed. And I think it's completely fucked up that there's any politician out there today who's gonna be playing a round of golf, eating a nice fucking meal, sleeping in a warm fucking bed, while millions of Americans who work for the government can't pay their fucking bills. They're worried about evictions. They're worried how they're gonna put food on the fucking table. And even Americans themselves, the working class, they can be Judas, you guys. A lot of times we walk around in these communities, we interact with these people, they smile at us, they ask us how we're doing, we go through polite casualties, right? And realistically, not everybody on the planet's gonna think exactly the same as you. Not everybody in Missoula is gonna think exactly the same as you. Not everybody in Portland is gonna think the same as you. But that doesn't mean that we can't unite around common ideas like shelter for everybody, not just banks, food for everybody, not just grocery stores so that they can throw it out in the fucking dumpster and it goes to a landfill. And they're charging higher prices, wasting the fucking food and pretending that this food is a scarce fucking supply. They're deporting the very people who harvest the goddamn crops. Another thing that makes the prices of the food go up, the food doesn't get harvested. A lot of that food that did not get harvested this summer is sitting in the field rotting because they could not harvest it. That was food that potentially could have filled somebody's stomach. And the fact that we have an entire nation, we have a United Nations, and the only two countries that were part of that United Nations that voted no for food to be a human right for all was Israel and the United States of America. You know how fucked up that is? And not only are United States politicians intentionally starving United States citizens, United States politicians are intentionally starving Palestinians. And if you think that it's okay, I'm just gonna have to say that that's completely fucked up, and you have to have no conscience to starve millions of people. You have to have no fucking soul to starve millions of people. There's no amount of money that you could give me that would get me to say that starving millions of people is okay. At 2025, you would think that this is one of the most advanced, society has ever been. We have fucking computers, we have artificial fucking intelligence, we have cars that drive themselves. And all over the world, people are homeless. All over the world, people are fucking hungry. All over the world, people are being denied access to medicine and healthcare. All over the world, people are dying from things that are easily preventable because somebody is making a shit ton of money by denying them their humanity, denying them shelter, denying them food, denying them water, denying them medicine. One big thing we never talk about is Africa. There's so many resources like gold, diamonds, and other precious metals and gemstones like cobalt. And there's all of these children, women, babies, men working in these mines for free, extracting these resources to be sent all around the world for batteries and electrical cars and the very cell phones we are holding in our fucking hands. There are people in places like China that are making iPhones, and they're spending 12-hour days doing the most labor-intensive work for very little pay. The fact that, they had to put nets around the buildings because people were jumping to their death to escape that life of, monotonous and labor-intensive work. And I ask everybody out there who sees this video and has made it this far, is this the world that you want to live in? Are these the things that you want to see happening? And are these the things that you want to support? Homelessness, starvation, denial of access to medical care, preventing human beings from thriving and being the best that they could be, which truly would be something that is good for the entire society as a whole. Feeding a person instead of making that person so desperate that they feel like they need to go to a grocery store to steal that food. Giving that person something that they can do so that they can feel like a productive member of society. Teaching them the skills so that they can fucking do the thing that they want to do, at an exceptional level. And one thing capitalism has really done, one thing that colonialism has really done on the globe is suck the entire soul out of it and profited off that extraction. Everything in the world anymore is just designed to extract more and more from us without giving anything back in return. Work in America demands that we spend an entire day laboring. And one thing a lot of people don't understand is when you're spending all that time working, you don't have time to go shopping. You don't have time to cook your own food. You don't have time to take care of your home. You don't have time to fucking, just relax. And we only get to live one life, and I think it's a shame that a lot of people's lives are just spent laboring away. They'll never get to leave their small town. They'll never get to travel the world. They'll never get to try something new. Just the same thing every single day, over and over. week after week, month after month, year after year. And you can only hope to make it until you're 80 or 90 years old.